No. John's back there. You good? Okay.
You got it.
All right. Welcome back to the August 11th, 2021 meeting of the Joint Planning and Zoning Commissions of Ascension Parish. All members are present. Item number 3 on the agenda is a motion to accept or deny the minutes of the last joint zoning meeting held on May 12th, 2021. Motion by Mr. Furman, second by Mr. Dumas. All in favor? Aye. Any in opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. Item number 4 is the introduction of staff.
Zoning secretary.
Jerome Fournier, Director of Planning and Development.
Sean Chereau, Engineering Review Agency.
Lance Brock, Secretary, zoning official.
Eric Poche, planner.
Item number 5 is the chairman's comments, and although they say you should never pass up an open mic, I think I will tonight. Item number 6 is a public hearing to recommend approval or denial to the parish council to consider the following. This is a recommendation only. Review IDPZ 2623.21 lots A1 of Cloverdale subdivision for Linfield, Hunter, and Junius Inc. Spud major use change located on the west side of Highway 73, approximately 110 feet north of Southwood Village Avenue. Someone here to speak on that? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm Danny Montalez. I'm here to answer any questions y'all might have.
Staff?
Yes, sir. This is to approve a major use change for an approved small plan unit development. It's off of Highway 73. It was originally approved December of 2016. The approved SPUD reflected 4 buildings, 1 retail and 3 offices. At this time, he's coming back for a major use change to add an office warehouse / yard, a lay-down yard in the back, and that's what the request is and the major use change is.
All right, we'll open a public hearing on this. Anybody signed up? I don't see anybody here, so. All right, we'll close the public hearing. Any questions, comments, or a motion for a recommendation or a non-recommendation?
I'm trying to follow these drawings, staff. Yeah. You got the warehouse, and then a lot of laid-out yards, but then you have another page, C3, that shows building 2, 3, and 4. So, are we approving 4 buildings, or are we approving a warehouse?
You're approving the warehouse. There's already 4 buildings that were existing or that was approved. The building's going to be the same. The only thing he's asking for is the change of the use from one of the retail buildings to be a warehouse, office warehouse.
Okay.
But weren't a couple of the buildings proposed, changed slightly enlarged?
Yes, sir. There are some differences in the square footage. Yes, sir.
Right. The addition 4,000.
Yes. I don't think it's 12.
Went from 9,600 to 21,600.
21,000?
Yeah.
That's what it says here. And the staff comments says total square footage 21,605.
What's going to have more traffic, a warehouse or an office?
I'll speak to that. This revision is less traffic than what was previously allowed to build in the previous submittal.
Traffic study showed reduction.
Yeah, but
It's going to go in the
It's just an outside store where a general contractor, so that we went from a couple office buildings, office warehouses, and then storage. Some things are just easier to store outside, but it's a fenced-in area, so it's not visible from the exterior.
It's a privacy fence?
Yeah, like a wood screen fence.
So has the parking been adjusted for the square footage and whatnot?
Correct.
And they had enough space on the property for that, for the additional?
Yeah, we have adequate parking, and our impact traffic and everything are lower than what was originally proposed.
This general contractor, commercial, industrial, residential?
Commercial.
Commercial? So you're gonna have semi-trucks delivering material here?
Occasionally, I'm the general contractor who's associated with the property owner. We get occasional delivery, but not high frequency. Our warehouse really functions, we're a management company, so we put our stuff when we finish jobs, the stuff that comes out of office trailers go into the warehouse until we start another project. But we don't fabricate or produce anything.
No, I wasn't so much worried about that. I'm just worried about the implications of how a semi-truck can maneuver in and out of there. And, you know, I know, I mean, look, I have an office warehouse, and every time a semi-truck shows up, traffic on the street comes to a screeching halt so he can back up in there. Okay, I see it on 44 all the time. I see it all over the parish, and I don't know that 73 can afford to have a semi-truck on a curve like that, stop traffic just so they can back up into a location. And I don't see how he's going to get in there unless he gets in and backs back out onto the street.
Ain't no way he's never back a semi-truck out on the 73. It's never gonna happen.
Well, the question is define occasional. You said occasionally you have semi-trucks, like, does that mean once a week, once a month, once a year?
Maybe once or twice a month. I mean, most of our stuff goes direct to the job site, so every once in a while, there's the exception that we have to receive a delivery, but we don't really store stuff there.
What about fuel tanks or anything?
No, we don't have any of that. The biggest vehicle that we have is like a U-Haul box truck.
Question for staff, if we approve this and something happens.
We're not going to approve it. We can't approve it.
Well, I guess we recommend approval, let's say if it's approved.
Yes.
How about that way?
Okay.
And for whatever reason, eventually this contractor moves out and someone else uses it. Is there any restrictions on what can be put in that yard, or can another company come in and put in fuel tanks and use it as a fabrication yard, or?
To answer your question, the way it is today, yes, he could. You could put stipulations on it that what the yard could be used for. This is a spud. You could do that. But to answer your question, yes. If it says lay-down yard, he could use it for a lay-down yard.
Hazardous material storage?
There's certain restrictions of how far that has to be from residents and things like that, but possibly.
Well, I mean, I can appreciate the fact that the traffic counts are going down, but I mean, I could live with this if there was a condition that limited delivery truck sizes to a 17-foot box type truck, and no semi-trucks, no fuel or hazardous material stored on site.
You can make a motion to
Question.
recommend that?
Question for
Yep.
staff.
Go ahead.
Aren't typical lay-down yards normally reserved for like heavy use and not just smaller situations like this?
Depends
Zoning-wise?
what, yeah, it depends what type of, use, so it depends what type of, use is on the property. If it's just for lumber or something like that, that's totally different than if he's putting something, some type of iron or piping or anything like that. So to answer your question, don't know.
I'll make the motion to recommend approval subject to those city conditions.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Dumas. Second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Hutchins. All in favor?
Aye.
Let's vote.
Any in opposition?
Nay.
All right, hold on. Voting controls are on. It looks like the vote passes. I'm going to end vote by a count of 3-2, the motion for recommendation with those stipulations to the parish council.
4-2 to me.
4-2, I'm sorry. I can't count tonight. It says it up on the screen. All right, it's the last item on the agenda on the joint meeting. After we have a motion to adjourn, we'll come back with after a brief recess with the zoning meeting. The joint meeting is adjourned.